Hey everyone, JVD from The Villains the Man here, bringing you another comic book review over Batman number 1 through 6. Story's called I Am Gotham. It's from Volume 3 under the Rebirth banner. It's written by Tom King. At this moment, I can tell you he is no Zack Snyder who wrote the New 52 stuff, even though he's put a lot of plot points that will probably play out in this book. On a high note, based off the book itself, it's drawn by David Finch, who I think is one of the best in the business. I met David Finch in New York Comic Con 2010, 2011. Really awesome guy, really nice guy. But overall, it's a pretty good book. I really liked the points that it was making, that's alluding to in the future. There's kind of two overall points, and then one that really sits in the background. The first one is the introduction of Gotham and Gotham Girl, who are Hank and Claire Clover, their brother and sister, and much like Bruce Wayne, growing up, they've dealt with the crime in Gotham and wanted to make a change. As you kind of find out that after they had met Batman, after he had saved their lives when they were, well, I should say Hank's life when they were kids, basically he became obsessed with Batman and wanting to help Gotham. And Claire, his younger sister, took him up on this and looked up to him and followed him everywhere. And as they grew older, they will travel overseas to do charity work. And apparently, by how it's displayed, they wound up in a bad part of a foreign country. And before you know it, their parents, who are rich and willing to help them out with what they're wanting to do to better the world, send them a lot of money. And that's how Batman, Bruce Wayne, tracks them down. And then the next thing you know, two new superheroes show up in Gotham when they come back home. And so it's pretty interesting. You got two new heroes and Batman, who I kind of thought maybe this would be Night Owl and Silk Spectre after you see everything from Rebirth and whatnot. But no, I'm completely wrong, as Tom King had said everybody was when people were guessing that. The other point are the Monster Men are coming. That's kind of got me excited. You find out that Hugo Strange has been using Psychopirate to affect people within Arkham. One of them, he lets loose Solomon Grundy on Gotham. He's getting people to blow up buildings and whatnot, cause mischief around Gotham like all of Batman's rogues do. And what it comes down to is these two stories kind of collide, as during an explosion and whatnot, Batman has Gotham and Gotham Girl go to save the people in the building, and they run into Psychopirate. And Psychopirate basically drives Gotham insane to the point where he don't think he can fix everything, even though he's going to try. And he drives Gotham Girl to the point that she's insane. And then that's where the book kind of focuses off to, is Gotham and how he's trying to stop everybody. Well, when they kill these Task Force X soldiers, Amanda Waller's people, because they're around and they know of them. One of them is left alive, and he goes to Hank and Claire's parents and kills them. And Hank is trying to kill them, and Batman wants to stop him. He's like, this is your point to take that anger and become something, become like me. Don't do this. And he breaks his neck, and then that's what starts the fight between him and Batman. And he knows, well, he's under the impression that you cannot save Gotham. And oddly enough, during his fight with Batman, who calls upon the Justice League to help him stop Gotham, Batman realizes, yeah, you're right, I can't save this city. But you know what? He's Batman. He's going to damn well try. He's been doing it forever. And through this, they can't figure out how to beat him. And so Duke Thomas is begging Claire, who's at the Batcave, how to stop him. And she explains, we were given these superpowers where we can be ordinary for forever. We can be Superman for a couple of years, or we can become gods for mere days. And basically, they give their life force to have these powers increase. And it's to the point where when Batman calls in the Justice League, they can't stop Gotham. And you're talking, that's Superman and Wonder Woman. That's two of DC's most powerful, like literally physically heroes, and he just mops the floor with them. But anyways, in the end, Gotham Girl realizes that she has to do what's right and she steps up and winds up killing him, even though she doesn't want to. And that's what kind of ends the story. And then that's at issue 5. Issue 6 is more where she's been still driven insane by a psycho pirate. Batman wants to help her. And he even reveals himself as Bruce Wayne, and that's what kind of brings her in. And lets her know that everything's going to be okay. So you kind of get a happy ending to what seems like a tragic story. Now, in the beginning of this book, when you first meet Gotham and Gotham Girl, there's a plane crashing in Gotham, and you find out this is all part of the whole Monster Man coming plot. And Batman knows he's going to die saving it, and you kind of get the question brought up is Batman is really questioning his mortality and wondering how long he can keep this up. And he understands, that Dick Grayson's going to take his spot afterwards, and then Damian will probably take his, but it's never going to be enough. There needs to be that constant. And that's why he looks to Gotham and Gotham Girl when he meets them, seeing that they are very Superman-like. So, you have that floating around in the background in the story, and it makes sense because if you look at Batman and when he's with the Justice League, he is just vanilla. He's just a human. Peak human, but human nonetheless, and they're all, pretty much got superpowers. One thing you see in that scene and throughout the book when him and Gotham Girl stopping things is how Batman's playing things by the numbers of save the day. He does this with a plane. He does this, I guess I would assume, with the bridge when the bridge is blown up in Gotham. He's using like angles, speed, trajectories, degrees to all save the day, and it shows you the level of intelligence of Batman. It's really nice. Even one part when Solomon Grundy is free due to Hugo Strange, they're fighting Solomon Grundy, and he winds up running from them. Batman shows up, and he basically uses his momentum and his speed to slam Grundy and knock him out. And Batman even points out to Gotham, if you were, a couple points of a second ahead, you could have stopped him, but you were this, far behind, and he would have crushed that civilian over there. So, it basically shows you, how Batman always tries to figure out every possible scenario when he's faced with it. More with Gotham there at the end during the fight. It's a really awesome fight. Batman even has to rely on Alfred to go stall him. So Batman dresses up as Batman and takes the Batmobile and crashes it into Gotham. And this is where you kind of realize that through the book, you realize that, oh wow, he's like a Superman level character. No, he's not. And this is where you see that his powers really increase due to how much he wants. And it starts off with, Alfred crashing into the Batmobile. And Gotham automatically realizes, no, he's not Batman. He can tell. And then Batman shows up, kicks him into the Batmobile, which he makes explode, just to injure Gotham. And Gotham realizes that Batman's no match for him. So Batman knows this and crashes the Batwing into him. And that's when this fight gets out of hand. He calls him the Justice League, and he just annihilates them. They can't even stop him. And this is just how powerful he is. So it's a really good fight there at the end of the story. Some points that I really enjoyed about the book is Solomon Grundy. At first, I really loved that I had seen Solomon Grundy take the fight to Gotham and Gotham Girl, because I like my Solomon Grundy to be really powerful, not to where he's on the level as Batman, which you could say, I guess maybe in this book he is, because Batman does slam him, but Batman uses his own momentum and weight against him to knock him out. So fanboys out there don't say like, hey, look at this issue, he beat Solomon Grundy. There's a perfect scientific explanation there for that. It's very easily figured out. So then I was very torn on that, if, is that the real Solomon Grundy or is this Batman level Solomon Grundy? But still, I love Solomon Grundy. I was happy to see him show up. And due to this monster men thing that's coming up, hopefully he's a part of it. Also, there's a lot of jokes made in this book. There's a trust joke that's made between Alfred and Batman, and basically how Batman won a katana and he got him with Kashi, and Batman hasn't trusted him ever since, and he was like 10 or 11. It's pretty funny. Also, when Batman introduces Gordon to Gotham and Gotham Girl, there's a disappearing joke made, and that is pretty funny. Also, when Batman is confronting Gotham when he loses his mind due to the Psycho Pirate, and Batmobile's crushed, and Duke's trying to send him some intel, and Duke's like, "Do you want me to send it to the car?" Batman looks over the Batmobile, it's got an eye beam, and he's like, "No, don't send it to the car." So for this first story arc, Tom King is already adding some humor into a very serious character, and that's really good for Batman. It really helps lighten up the dark mood that you usually get with solo Batman stories. There's also something that's really interesting here at the end of the book, which I do believe that's issue 5, and it's through the dialogue of Claire. It's almost in the future. It's foreshadowing. Man, I can't even talk today. Batman's death, and she's talking about how her and Duke Thomas are married, and how he helped her and him become the heroes they are, and then how they visit Gotham once a year to basically celebrate what Batman did for the city and how he died doing it. So it's very interesting, and I'm curious how it's going to turn out. How I mentioned Batman's really questioned his mortality in the beginning of the book with him and Alfred, and how they're talking about he knows he's going to die trying to save this, and it is a good death, and how his parents would be proud. And then you get this at the very end of issue 5. So it's really interesting. Batman's a character that's been around a very, very long time, and the only problem is, you could give him a great death, but it's comics, and if you know anything about comic books, everybody comes back. But I think if you were to kill Batman, make it impactful, and that he wouldn't be around, and make it stick, I think it would be something that would be really good for fans and really good for the industry to show, like, hey, we're here at DC Comics, who right now to me are winning the comic book war between them and Marvel with all this Rebirth stuff. It's like, hey, we're not afraid to kill a character, much like they did in Death of Superman back in like '93, but this time it's going to stick. But we know that's not going to happen because they're trying to compete with Marvel and the movie industry. But I'm JBD. This has been my review for Batman I Am Gotham. Keep reading, guys.